going on, YouTube? We are back now with our match against the Detroit Liepards of Week 1 of the NPL. So this was a crazy game. I'm not going to spoil anything, but we are going to jump into this. As you can see, he did bring Noivern, Thunderous, Conkeldurr, Mega Guard, or Mega Gallade. Wow. Celebi, and Tentacruel. I think I more or less expected this team save. Well, I mean, I like to plan for like 8 to 9 of his mons, or 8 to 9 of my opponent's mons just to be safe. But these 6 really didn't surprise me. I did really expect Heatran. We may have overprepped for that, but we're gonna jump right into this. So he's starting off with Noivern, and I figure Gardevoir is probably the best mon we can go into. I mean, we're Scarfed. We're gonna kill almost anything in one hit, but he goes for U-turn, and I'm like, what the hell? Is he Scarf Noivern? Usually I'd say that's a bad play, but since I have 2 Scarfers, that was actually really good. That was really, really good prep. So we're gonna go for the Psyshock. I expected Tentacruel to come in, which is a little unfortunate. Celebi really doesn't care about it. I think it takes like 20%. But we're gonna get out of there. Go into Stanek the Shaman, as he does put the Stealth Rocks up. I really expected a nasty plot set out of him, but the utility also really isn't bad. I'm expecting Healing Wish as well at some point, so I want to make sure to just end it as soon as possible, so he cannot get that Healing Wish up. We go for the Earth Power again, expecting the Tentacruel to come in, but it does not. He goes into Thunderous, which it was such an obvious switch. I don't know why I predicted Tentacruel. But our Thunder switch is coming out. We're going to go into Swirly. I should have kept Shaman in with the Natural Cure, but now this really is a Thunderous switch because he can't paralyze a paralyzed mon. But he does go for the Volt switch here, which really doesn't matter a whole lot. Going back into Celebi, and we go for the Dragon Tail, so to speak. Well, I didn't that, but either way, go for the Dragon Tail, bringing in Noivern, which was the worst mon I could have brought in, outside of like maybe Gallade. But he goes for the U-turn, I guess expecting a switch, which really worked out for us. Figure since he's Scarf, we'll survive a Draco Meteor, so we went for our own. Luckily, Celebi switches back in to eat the Draco Meteor. It does a pretty good amount of damage for only having 12 special attack investment, but that does hurt our special attack. One reason I tagged on Dragon Tail was so we could... I'm sorry, he goes with the Psychic. That does a pretty good amount of damage. But another reason we tagged on Dragon Tail was because we can use Draco Meteor and still stay in spamming Dragon Tail. Especially at this point, I really didn't expect Psychic to do that much to a fully specially defensive Dragalge. I guess he was offensive with Stealth Rocks. But we do bring Thundy back in. He's going to Volt Switch out again. Back into Celebi. And that's perfectly okay. We expected the switch, went for the Icy Wind, and it just happened to hit, well, half the mons it would have been super effective against. But luckily this does drop Celebi down to almost killing range. I guess he wasn't running Healing Wish, because it would have been the perfect time to use it, but he didn't have anything detrimental. So we switch into Gardevoir here, who is, I don't know why. When I switched it in, I thought it was Assault Vest. I changed the set. But even with a crit, it didn't do a whole ton of damage. So we do get this clean Moonblast off. I really expected the Thunder Wave. We stayed in because we traced Natural Cure. But he actually, and I guess he went for a Volt Switch, but we do KO it. Scarf came in handy there. But after Noivern revealing that it's Scarfed, I didn't want to keep Gardevoir in. I figured he'd go for a Hurricane. So that's the only move that would actually kill. So we go back into Dragalge. Can't eat this up, sack him off. It was really the only mon I could afford to lose at this point in the game. So that's unfortunate, but we do get a clean switch into Pinhead Larry. Noivern really can't touch this thing, especially since it's stuck in Hurricanes. But we get our Sandstorm whipped up. And I predicted the switch in Conkeldurr. We are so close to hitting Ice Punch, so close. But luckily, we played the right cards, went for the superpower. And I thought to myself, this is it. This is it, man. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do this thing. So we're going to switch out of there. We're going to go into Box Ghost. I was actually hoping he made the prediction going for knockoff, but he goes for the Drain Punch, which actually kind of just pays off for us. Because, oh lord, you're going to see in a minute. This knockoff does a ton of damage. I expected the Assault Vest set. Luckily, we pumped enough HP into it to survive physically offensive, but it triggers our weakness policy, and we get the Trick Room up, so we can KO Conk here. And basically, I really thought he was going to go into Mega Gallade, which would have been fine, to be completely honest. Honestly, Conk was really the only thing standing in our way from setting up D-Dance with Mega T-Tar. But he sends in Tentacruel. Tentacruel is going to catch a Psychic and get completely KO'd. Luckily, the Sandstorm ends. We're on 5 HP. I guess at this point, I assume Mega Gallade didn't have Shadow Sneak. We go for the Shadow Ball, which just barely lets Noivern live, and it hurts so bad to watch because it's going to just knock Box Ghost right out of there. Noivern does get the Mummy, but in these U-turns, it really doesn't matter. So at this point, we're kind of just waiting and peeking what he's going to go into. He goes into Spartacus and then Gallade. And I'm thinking to myself, cool, we got Shaman for this. Shaman's physically defensive. We can totally do this. So he switches out. Goes into Celebi. And Celebi catches this Dazzle. I figured we were safe to go to Dazzle Lead. Kills Noivern. Probably kills Mega Gallade. And KOs Celebi at that point. So we're sitting at a 4-2. Everything's looking real nice, real pretty. Goes in a Noivern. And I remember, this Shaman is not defensive in the least bit. We're running a Spec Shaman. So I decided to go into Kyurem. I'm forced to assume he's going to go for Hurricane. And we more or less just kind of hope that he's going to miss one of them, but he does land both, which is really unfortunate because Kyurem goes down there. Even more so unfortunate because it really didn't do anything this game, and it was upsetting. But the switch into Mega Gallade is obvious. We have Sandstorm up. Noivern can't touch it. So we take this opportunity to go for a free Dragon Dance. There we go. I got it. Spartacus is getting hit by that Sandstorm, but yeah, it doesn't actually matter. I'm just talking to talk, guys. We're going to go for Superpower, but it really doesn't matter all that much. He is Psychic typing, it's not very effective, but even at +1, it does a good chunk. Unfortunately, we do catch that burn, and that's going to suck. We just can't touch it at this point, not with T-Tar. So, we hop back in the Shaman. Again, I'm thinking it's defensive. We didn't bring defensive Shaman, he goes for the Wish. And I honestly didn't know why. I guess he predicted another Dragon Dance, but he goes for the burn again. And he's going to hold his Dazzle Wave. Now, luckily, Gallade drops there. So he's forced to go into Noivern with the Sand Up. And I'm thinking, oh, this is perfect. This is great. I don't know why I kept Shaman in. It was such a bad idea. It really could have helped our differential. I sacked it off because I wasn't thinking. I honestly just wanted to see what to go for. I'm surprised he didn't use U-turn, to be completely honest. But we do get Pinhead Larry back in there. Sand does come back up. Goes to the Hurricane. Barely does any damage. We totally could have switched in and saved Shaman. We could have saved the differential. But it really doesn't matter because Mega T-Tar's coming and bop him with Ice Punch. And that's the game, guys. That was such a crazy match. I did not expect any of it to go the way it did. Luckily, Trick Room Cough paid off phenomenally. Kyurem, I really wish it had done something. I really wish it did. Unfortunately, it just didn't shine as much as I wanted to. It really didn't do much of anything except die. I really shouldn't have tried to count on Hurricane missing. That's just not a good thing for any player to do. You shouldn't count on a miss, count on a hack. It's not a good habit to form. But either way, we did come out of this with a 2-0 in week 1. That's already good. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the match. Please go over to Cipher Block's channel. Check him out. Give that man some support. He did such a great job in this match, and he's a really good sport too. But anyway, I'm out of here. Until next time, stay frosty.